Stay home.
Stay home. Stay home.
នៅផ្ទះ
Stay home.
อยู่บ้านเด้อดูเรื่องอูมา
Stay home
อยู่บ้าน
Stay home
Stay home.
Stay safe อาเซียน
I have a dream of what I wanna be. I wanna be free. That's what my heart keeps telling me.
Give me your hand, we'll find a way. There are people out there that feel the same. And if we help each other, I just know we can succeed.
We are one, but we are different. We're from all around the world. We share the same sun, we share the same oceans. We are every boy and girl.
Come together and share our dream. We'd be among the stars, and we know that is destiny. We are unity. We are unity.
I do believe, oh, I believe in destiny. It's up to me to make it into reality.
Give me a hand, we'll find a way. There are people out there that feel the same. If we help each other, I just know we can succeed.
We are one, but we are different. We're from all around the world. We share the same sun, we share the same oceans. We are every boy and girl.
Come together and share our dreams. We'll be among the stars, and we know that it's destiny that we are unity.
No matter where you're from or who you are,
If we can find a common place to be, then we are friends. Oh.
we are one, but we are different. We're from all around the world. We share the same sun, we share the same oceans. Ooh. We are one, but we are different. We're from all around the world. We share the same sun, we share the same oceans. We are every boy and girl. Come together and share our dreams. We'll be among the stars.
Stay home.
Good afternoon, everyone. Maayong hapon sa atong mga participants from higher education institutions in Region 10. My greetings to all our faculty in Region 10. Good afternoon, Ma'am Rafaela from Opol Community College. Saying good afternoon also is Sir Nimrod. Maayong hapon also. Good afternoon, Ma'am Grace. Also from Ma'am Liza Adamat, watching daw siya from MSU IIT. Good afternoon po, Doc Aga from Valencia Colleges in Bukidnon. Sir Dominic from Santa Monica Institute of Technology. Sir Marlon Binaobra from Pangantukan Bukidnon Community College. Good afternoon also to Sir Ryan Christian from Central Mindanao University. Watching over from Christ the King College de Maranding in Lanao del Norte, Ma'am Ham. Hello po, good afternoon. Ma'am VP from San Isidro College also, and from Camiguin, Ma'am Gail Olavedes, good afternoon. And from Balingasag, St. Peter's College, Ma'am Rosana Nulo, good afternoon. And to all other participants from Hingoog, from Bukidnon, from Misamis Occidental, from Lanao del Norte, and of course, Cagayan de Oro City and Iligan City. Good afternoon, everyone. And to our participants from outside the region, we have from NCR, we have viewers from NCR, and as far as, what else? Yeah, okay. This morning, we had participants as far as Tawi-Tawi. No? So from north of Luzon and up to the southernmost part of the Philippines, we have participants. So thank you for joining us in our webinar lecture demonstration. And currently, our FB live stream has 260 16 viewers. So we're expecting to have more participants this afternoon. Thank you also for watching from Valencia Colleges, Ma'am Rhea Caparida. From Initaw, Ma'am Ann Panuril. Hello po. From Bukso, Sir Albert. Good afternoon. Hi, Ma'am Judy May Egar. Good afternoon po. Thank you for joining us. From Region 4A also, we have participants, and from Tangub City. Okay, and also Jensen. Okay, from Pilgrim Christian College, Ma'am Maria Lilani Ramos. Okay, good afternoon po. Welcome po to our afternoon session for this day, continuation of our activity this morning is on building the virtual classroom in the Moodle. And this morning we had a resource person, Mr. Vincent Melales, who talked about adding activities, particularly assignments and discussion forum and building a quiz. He was so detailed about his demonstration. He was so passionate about it. He almost forgot the time. But of course, we will not allow him to proceed to the next without him responding to the questions raised by our viewers earlier or participants. So if Sir Vincent is ready, can I throw the first question, Sir Vincent? Are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, yung first question, Sir Vincent, is from Marilu Karumba. Her question is, what are the other alternatives for students to participate in the quiz or exam if they cannot access the Moodle application? As teachers, how can we grade them? Sir?
So thank you, Ma'am Marilo. I'm not sure with the context, no, but if he cannot access the Moodle, so we have online applications such as in the Google Suite. It's called Google Forms. So you can create quizzes out of the Google Form. So you may allow your students to take the quiz through the Google Form.
Okay, so there are other means. The teacher must be innovative in a way. Okay, expected not for there are students who can't have access to that. Okay, another question, Sir Vincent, from Mr. Stewart Sinconiege. Question for Sir Vincent. Okay. Wait, I just want to ask if I can be or can we be able to have our own version of the forum, which is accessible in their place. The faculty is from Medina Foundation College sa Pangdalaga, Misamis Occidental. For him, it is somewhat quote unquote kote daw, no? We are just going to use the forum that we have been using since then.
Yes, it's definitely true. No, na at first you may think setting up a forum is medyo kotejo siya. But so when we use when we use the full capability of our classrooms in Moodle, we must consider na or we must rather eliminate the other or using other tools. So meaning when we use the Moodle, so we must utilize we must utilize its capability. So dili ta mag kana bitaw mag transfer of other tools. But kung lisod para kang ma'am si Sir Stewart na to siya ma'am, no?
Yes.
You may use other anyway the forum is used for for interaction and communication. So you may use other tools such as siguro you may use Facebook or Facebook groups or chat in Messenger in Facebook.
Okay. So there are options for the school. But it has to be a school and management decision. This time, a question from Ma'am Marilu Karumba. Can the students use the application using their cell phones? What about students without capability to use the application?
Okay. So siguro ang question naman is mura siya balik-balik siya, no? But it's up to the teacher na kung how he or she manage the his students. So for example, you have the activity, no, that would require the students to post through the forum. So kung wala silang kung wala sila ay mga or if they do not have the capability to for example, they do not have the internet or the device like Android phone, so you may through text pwede mo na siya nga just to get their opinion for your topic or the question.
If it's the question here is on the form of yung forum, yung discussion.
Yes, so
forum discussion. They can use other apps.
Yeah. But for the students na meron namang cell phones, Android phones, they can access the Moodle through their phones, through the Moodle app.
Okay. This time, a question about uploading quizzes. This is from Sir Kumar Wanto. In uploading quizzes, how do we write equation? But this was discussed already. How do we write equations or mathematical equations in the LMS? This was my struggle in the past, using an LMS before. So is there any functionality in the Moodle in writing equations and symbols, mathematical symbols?
So thank you for that question, sir. No, as for we have this. So I sa demo kanina is lang to when we upload questions using icon, ang ihang dawaton is lang natong multiple choice and true or false. So yes, but it cannot upload complex na same with the calculated. As to adding complicated symbols in the questions itself, you may use it's called the Atto Editor plugin. So ATTO. So you may ask your administrator who manage your Moodle to install the plugin. So from there, you can write questions na yung mga, unfortunately, I can show you, but you have there, you can add questions, symbols from mathematics and chemistry, something like that.
Okay. So there's another site
Yes,
that
ma'am.
can
That
be
is a
used.
plugin called
Okay. So
KTO.
there's a second to the last question for Sir Vincent. On the part of the students as well as for teachers, when it comes to submission, uh, for the submission, whether in the form of quizzes, projects, or requirements, how much percentage in terms of accuracy of receipts from submission of students does can LMS do?
I'm not really sure. Ma'am, can you repeat the question?
I think so. I'll simplify. How do I understand this question? Can LMS detect or can LMS determine how accurate the submission of the students sa ilang requirements or whether if they respond to quizzes or submit projects?
Um, so sa showcasing ko kanina, ma'am, no, yung version na ako gigamit is ano siya, lower nga versions. So when it comes to quiz, we have this in the earlier version of Moodle, which you have created using Nomeo. So if you can recall, there's another option there in quiz called the web save, in which once the student open the quiz, so murag lang ang kuan ang window niya ang kuan sa iyang screen, and dili siya maka browse or maka open of another tabs.
Okay.
Yes. As for
Okay.
as for the assignment naman or outputs, for example, we have, for example, thesis or researches. So we have also called the external tool in our model. For example, it uses the assignment feature sa Google. So if you are familiar with Google Assignment, so one of the features of Google Assignment is I don't know if you are familiar with Turnitin, but it has the same functions in which the Google Assignment detects what up to what percentage of the submitted document is copied from the internet. Then also there is an iSource. So
Okay.
from there, siguro the students will surely submit, or would somehow submit or work on from their hard work.
Okay. Last question, Sir Vincent.
Yes, ma'am.
From Mom Rosemary Avendano, can Moodle quiz detect cheating?
Um, Unfortunately, ma'am, no, Moodle cannot do that, ma-detect niya ang cheating. But as I've mentioned a while ago, katong web safe, you can do that. And if you can recall during on my presentation a while ago, I emphasized the importance to create categories. No, I have mentioned there nga mag-create ka from easy, medium, and hard. So unfortunately I wasn't able to showcase the one feature of the Google quiz. The quiz in Moodle is it creates random questions from the categories you made. So for example, you have 100 questions from the easy, then 100 from the medium, and 100 for the difficult. You can set that in your quiz, you get only 5 items from those categories. And once the students will take your exam, so in every time it generates random questions, and it's different from every student. So somehow that would siguro it minimize cheating, so they cannot compare answers with their classmates easily.
Okay. Thank you, Sir Vincent. There are other questions, but I will reserve them later. They just came in this afternoon, no? When I checked our comment box, na yung mga pahabol na questions about uploading quizzes and all, but we'll reserve that. We'll give you time to present your next topic, which is on, okay, I'll share my screen to allow that. Okay, so for this afternoon, Sir Vincent will discuss or will present to us and demonstrate setting up marking guides and rubrics in Moodle. Okay, and later on, Ma'am Nenen S. Borinaga, our resource person yesterday, will demonstrate to us how to set up the gradebook. There are questions already about gradebook, but we will reserve that later for Ma'am Nenen. So, ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome again Sir Vincent Malales. Sir, take
So,
it away.
Good afternoon once again. So this time I will be discussing the part three of our building our virtual classroom using Moodle, setting up the rubric and the marking guide. So I hope no, and you had your lunch already as we go through our demonstration and the presentation this afternoon. So what do we need? Again, you need your laptops. Tapos, if you happen to perform the activities we had a while ago, I hope you already have your assignment activity ready, as this we will be dealing or making our rubrics and marking guide. Then for those who have no laptops or have not set up their assignment or activity, kindly prepare pen and paper to get some points, no? Then also prepare your, if you have I believe as I have recalled, no, we during the previous sessions you have there's a discussion about assessment which also tackles rubric. So I hope you also have your rubric. As for the marking guide, I think I hope you're also familiar with this. Then we have the manual. So to access the manual, so just visit the link bit.ly ReFLEX10 Moodle manual. So again, for better experience, so when the Windows key plus left for this for the tab for on the left, that tapos just Windows key plus right key for the tab, or to create a tab on the right of your screen. So for my discussion this afternoon, I will be discussing building or setting up the rubric, and then we'll proceed with the marking guide, and I will show a sample on how to grade an assignment or activity using those two. So let me begin with the rubrics and marking guide, although this has been already discussed, no, in our previous sessions. So what is a rubric? So a rubric is an assessment tool that indicates achievement criteria across all the components of any kind of student's work.
Sir Vince, may I
Yes, ma'am.
cut? You are not showing your.
Oh, I'm
Okay,
sorry. I'm sorry.
okay, you can share your screen now, sir. Thank you.
Oh, for a moment. So, okay. So again, for my outline this, I'll be discussing this afternoon the building rubric. Then I'll proceed with the marking guide, and then I'll be showing also a sample, a demo on how to grade your assignment or activity using the rubric and the marking guide. Okay. So rubrics and marking guide, I'll be discussing this first. So a rubric is an assessment tool that indicates achievement criteria across all the components of any kind of student's work, from written to oral to visual. It can be used for marking assignments, class participation, or overall grade. So if you happen to be familiar with rubrics, there are two types of rubrics. So we have the analytic rubric. So you have there, these are the criteria, and these are the performance or the description that you will require students to perform or for them to comply. Then we also have a holistic rubric. So siguro it's ano lang, more on simple lang siya. You have the scales or the points. Tapos siguro dito sa ano, no, if we compare it to the to the analytic rubrics, kinumpress lang niya yung mga statements doon. Tapos wala na pong criteria. Wala nang criteria, but you have the somehow a description, but they call it criteria. So a marking guide, I don't know if you are familiar with this. A marking guide is an advanced grading method in the US grading guide where a teacher enters a comment per criterion and a mark up to a maximum. So as you may notice, so you have there, we still have the criteria, then we have the descriptions, and we have the notes for the teacher. So it might be, it's not, we cannot equate this into a holistic rubric kay ano man, wala siya. Although you have, supposedly this is called a description, no? But here, naa siya criteria, specific criteria, and it has a description. So for example, in the relevant content, so it says here, the description is for it's the performance or what you are requiring to your students. So it says here at least 3 facts about the topic is given. Content should be related from the topic. So medyo ano siya, specific. And you have here the notes. The notes is for the notes are for the teacher or the marker to guide the grading. So for example here, ensure 3 or more facts are given, loses a half point in every missing facts and fallacy ideas or unrelated items present. So medyo ano lang ano, ang markings, so if we compare, rubric is more on ano siya, general in terms of, specific in terms of the performance, no? And the criteria is specific on the content or what should, siguro, there are same but mas simpler lang ang marking guide. So in Moodle, rubrics and marking guide are the advanced grading method. So although by default, numerical grades in the Moodle are selected by the teacher from a range like 0 to 100. So if you happen to recall or in setting up our assignment a while ago, no, I think I put there 10 for the grade, or I think it's 20. I just use the default setting for grading, which is, I think it's point. So the default is points or scale when you create activities in Moodle and in grading. So when advanced grading methods are enabled, the grade selection element is replaced with a more objective assessment. So compared to a point, so mas objective yung pag-assess or how you assess the student, kasi you have the the basis is on the how they perform, and you have the criteria. Sa point is you have just what we call that one, nagbana-bana lang ka nga this work worth 19 over 20 points, something like that. But when you use rubrics or marking guide, mas objective siya, kaya you have the criteria and you have the performance level. So what does it look like in Moodle? So you have here an example rubric, grading due in Moodle. So you have there, these are the criteria, and these are the description or performance level that you have stated under this criteria or added. Then you have here, you can also comment, no? And the points shown at the bottom, this green. So this is for the sample rubric grading. Then as for the marking guide, so you have here the criteria and the statement, although it's the sample is a bit lengthy, no, but you have there, yes, you have here the comments, no, for regarding the output of your student, then you have the score, which you have the of the total number for that, or the maximum point for that specific category or criteria. Now let's proceed on how to build the rubric. So let me go back to our classroom, no? So once again, I hope you have your assignment already ready in your respective classroom, and as well you also have sample rubric, no? So to begin, to create a rubric, first we must click the turn editing on button. Then from there, so we will choose the activity or assignment that you will add, or you will set the grading method as rubric. So for this example, for this demo, I'll be using this one. So I'll click the edit button, then edit settings. Will be then redirected to the updating assignment page. So leave the settings as it is. Let's scroll down to the grade. No, from opening your once you open your activity or assignment activity, scroll down to the grade and click the grade settings. Now, as kanina, no, I have set the they call this one, the maximum grade as to 10. So in this view, when I grade the output of my student, I just have to input the point directly. So based on my once again bana-bana lang, or how feel lang nako. Then in the grading method, choose rubric. Okay. Then click save and display. So you will be then redirected to this page, the advanced grading page. So since we'll begin with clicking this define new grading form from scratch, as we do not have any rubric yet set up in our classroom. So can you click that one? No. So you will be then redirected to this define rubric page settings. So to begin, I'll set the name of my rubric. For example, I require the students to submit this one. To submit a document for this one, I'll name this to document rubric. Or to be more specific, I can use activity or activity 1 rubric. So you may leave the description as blank. Then we will proceed with this panel here. Now you have there, click to edit. No. Now I hope you have your rubrics ready, but in this demo, I'll be using my predefined rubrics. So in the previous sessions, you were introduced with the sites in which you can access the predefined rubrics. So I got this one from I think from RubyStar, in RubyStar. So from here, in this page, I'll go back to my to the rubric page settings. So this part here is where you write the criteria or the criterion of the rubric, no, of your rubric. So from this rubric, my first criteria is the graphics. Okay. I think I forgot the what do you call this one? This rubric is for ano niya siya, outputs with graphics. Yes, I think. So for example, ano siya, so from this, I'll just copy and paste this criterion or criteria into my rubric. So that's for the criteria. Now to add the this one, to add the level or the description, I just copy and paste this one. For example, my for the 1 point, or yes, 1 point, I'll copy this description into the first description after the criteria. But note, if you happen to notice, you have there kining mga green, these are points. So since sa ako ang in my rubric, that the statement is the students will get 1 point when he or she satisfy this statement. So I'll change this point to 1. No? Then so I proceed with the other criteria, no, and I'll change the points. Okay. Now, to those of you who happen to open the link I have posted a while ago, there are people na nakasulod na. You can access this. This rubric and marking guide is available on the link also. So, para mas madali, you can use this. Okay, this is 3 points. Then for the last. Okay. So I have added the first criteria with the descriptions and points. I'll delete this one. I didn't add this one. Yes. Okay. Now how to add the other criteria. So I just have to click this add criterion button. Now to add another criteria, just click the add criterion button. No, and do the same. So katong copy pasting lang, just copy and paste. No. So for a moment. Now, in case the points or the scale is beyond 4 or 5, or beyond 4 rather, so I just have to click the add level to add another level. But since I only have 4 scale, so dapat 4 lang din yung level na dapat akong i-add. Now, for the last criterion rather, just again, copy and paste. Now, again, it's better now when you create your rubric, dapat it's better na you already have prepared your rubric para copy paste ka na lang. So after copy pasting all or setting up or adding the criteria and descriptions to my rubric, click Save Rubric and make it ready. Then you will be redirected to this page. So sa inyuha siguro no you have here 0 siguro since wala pa kayong students or yes, wala pa kayong students. Now in this topic in this submission bin, so I have submitted a file from another account. Let's try to view how does it look like after we add our rubric. Let's click now to grade or to view, click grade. Is it this one? Oh, let me. Okay, so blank lang ata ito. Anyway, sample lang naman. So I think the submitted document is blank, but it's the same way when your students submit a document or file. So the same lang yung yung view niyo. But of course, makita yung content na iyahang gi-submit. So we have here, we have added our rubrics, diba? Now, from there, after opening after we click the grade, we will be redirected to this page. You have these buttons here. This is used for annotations or something to mark the document. So for example, I happen to find some errors in his or her documents of my student. So I'll just click this one. You can do this. Then you can also have this one. You can add annotations or comments. Okay, you can do that. You can also do that. And some other functions. So you also have here the pagination. So in case the submitted document have multiple pages, so you just have to click this button. So since the submitted document is only have one page, so there's no other page that will be shown. Now in grading, so we have, as you can see here on the right panel, you have here the rubrics that you have created in that you have set up. So for example, the graphics clarity, it only meets the example this one. So I just have to click, since I saw that most graphics are in focus and the content easily viewed and identified from 6 feet away. So kung usa to makita na sa document or sa iyang i-submit, then it's satisfied to this specific performance or description. I just have to click the point or the scale. No, you can also have. I think we can. Yes, we can zoom this out and also add comments here. Comment. Then, so for the rest criteria, I just have to click. Okay, so after you have successfully graded through rubric, click Save Changes. Okay. Let's see. Let's go back to our course page. Okay. No, as you can see, so we have in the if we view the grades of our students, no, so si Mikael Christian Lamayo, he's the one submitting the document. So, and we have graded him as well. So as you can see, based on the points or the rubrics that we have set up, and based on our grading, he got 13.33 over 20. Now let me go back to my to our course page. So, and that's how you create a rubric or create and grade an assignment through rubric. Now let's proceed with the marking guide. So now it's still same with, let me go back to my default view. Still the same with creating a rubric. So again, click the turn editing on button. So in case na, yes, click the turn editing on button. Then after that, click the activity or assignment that you will add the marking guide. Oh, sorry. Click the edit button beside or across the activity in which you will add a marking guide. Then click edit settings. So again, scroll down until you reach the grade settings. Then click the grade settings. Then under the grading method, click choose marking guide. Then click save and display. No, since we do not have a marking guide yet in our classroom, so click this define new grading form from scratch. Again, set the name of your marking guide. So for this one, I'll set this activity 1 marking guide. Then proceed. You may leave the description as blank. Let's proceed with this part here, this panel here. I have also my marking guide prepared, this one. So I just have to copy paste. So this one here is the criteria or criterion. So from my marking guide, so I'll add the first criteria, the relevant content. So this is for example lang ha. Then I'll copy paste it into here. No, so that's my first criteria. Then I'll add the description in which the students are required to perform or to deliver. I'll just copy and paste. Then I'll add the description for markers or for teachers. So it's your guide on how to grade the students. Now add the maximum score. So for this one, the grade for this criteria is 5. So I'll have to put 5. So that's how you do the first criteria. Now to add first criterion. So to add the other criterion, so just click the add criterion button and do and perform the copy pasting. So now, in case you were not able to follow, this guide, I also have a manual regarding this this process. So It's also available on the link that I have provided a while ago. So I have already added the second criterion. So for the last one, just copy and paste. Then click Save Marking Guide and make it ready. So you will now be then redirected to this page. So let's in this activity also I have a sample submitted document from another account. So let's try to view on how it looks like. Okay, so may error din dito, no? So, okay. So we previously have set this, the maximum grade is 20, no? But, okay. But the Moodle will automatically convert the points, no, to meet it. So let's click the grade. And let's see. Okay. So this is now the previously, no, it's different from the rubrics we have added a while ago. So you have there the criteria and there the description. So let's zoom this. So for instance, this one I'll just put 3 points, then comments, and comments. So sa inyo, no, you do not have yet this view since wala pa kayong students and no document was submitted. So you cannot perform this, but I'll just, in a way, when you use rubrics and marking guide, you will see the same page or the same process lang. Then click Save Changes. Okay, let's see. Let's go back to our classroom and see if then click the grades if reflected na ba. So you have here kanina, no, this is the ano ba to? Okay, kanina this is the grade of the student after you graded him using the rubric. Then you have here it in the gradebook also reflected, or the grade report rather, the grade of the student using the marking guide. So, okay. So let me go back to my presentation. Okay, and that's how you create a rubric and marking guide. So I hope you performed also, no? So as for the tips, so first is use rubrics or marking guide in grading all tangible outputs from your students. So as mentioned a while ago, na dapat we must in grading outputs, we must be objective. So it's not enough to just set points or grade your students with points without any basis or without any basis. And also in using the rubrics and marking guide, what you have posted or created rubrics must also be shown to your students. So before you in your description, so if you happen to recall, you in the making assignment or activity, you have their description, no? You may include the rubrics para and marking guide para guided yung students up to as to what performance or level of quality of work they are required to um, submit. Tapos, be specific on stating this description of criteria, of course. No, set the criteria or set the description of performance level. So it might be na what do you call this one? So there might be some instances na you forgot to mention a specific performance, but after you have grading, I have maka-remember, and you graded the student based on the performance or criteria na wala ni mo state. So make sure na before creating your rubric and marking guide, set na daan ang yahang performance level or description. And lastly, use predefined rubrics on the net to save time. So I know it's hard, it's really hard to create your own rubrics. So I suggest that you use or get rubrics from the net. So same sa akong gibuhat kanina, I have downloaded or copied the rubric from the Rubistar. So to summarize my my discussion this afternoon, so we have built the rubric. I also have a short discussion about the rubric and marking guide. We have built those advanced grading method, and also I have showed a sample grading on how showed a sample grading an assignment through rubric and marking guide. So my manual and presentation is available through this link. So in case you were not able to follow the demo or the instruction I have shown a while ago, you may visit this link and access the manual. So there, though it's not that an explanation, or it's not that well delivered, but you have their simple click lang, just follow the buttons and you can get you can create your what you want to create in Moodle. So that's all. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Sir Vincent, for the, again, detailed presentation and demonstration of how to set up your marking guide and rubrics relative to your statement about if they were able to follow each step. There are comments here. This one is in the morning, but again, it's reiterated this afternoon. They really appreciate your presentation, except that they really need to have a tutor. This is from Margarita Bibanco, and this was seconded by um, Sir Pantaleon Harpon, who said that I think I need a copy of the manual. And Sir Giovanni Talose also said um, from the beginning, he wanted to follow the discussion, but he got lost somewhere, so he wants a copy of the manual. And the latest statement from Maria Lelani Ramos. I forgot already how to use my Moodle, so this was very helpful. But again, I still need a copy of the manual, and medyo obsolete na daw yung device niya and slow yung kanyang connection. So she said, help me God daw. But again, we have to make some adjustments. For the team of Sir Vincent and Dr. Malabanan, they will be sharing, or they have shared actually, the copy of the manual for this in the LMS. So again, for those who have not registered yet, register in our LMS through the ReFLEX uh, link. Okay. That's it. Thank you very much, Sir Vincent, for your time and expertise. You are very patient in demonstrating. I know na you have still a lot to share pero wala lata time, no? We don't have enough time. We have to give way to the next resource person who will also discuss an equally important topic, specifically on setting up a grade book. Okay, so at this point, I will say goodbye first to Sir Vincent and give the floor to Ma'am Nenen Borinaga to present to us and demonstrate how to set up the gradebook using the Moodle platform. Ma'am Nenen?
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon. Again, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon to the technical working group for the flexible learning, and also good afternoon to our colleagues here in the MSc IIT and to the live audience in Facebook. Okay, so now I'm going to share my presentation. Mm. Okay, so we are now on the last part in building our virtual classroom. The setting up of our gradebook. So earlier, Sir Vincent demonstrated to us how to add activities in the classroom, and activities that were added includes the forum, quizzes, and assignment with corresponding scores or grades using rubric and the marking guide. So the activities that were added with grades are then created in the gradebook. Okay, so I hope that at this moment, you were still on your dual mode or your split screen mode, and I will try my best to be as slow as possible for you to be able to follow the demonstration instructions. So, and I also hope that, your internet connectivity will cooperate with you. Okay. Okay. So first, what is gradebook? So first, we're going to define gradebook in Moodle. So the gradebook is a feature in Moodle that helps you collect scores for graded activities from your course. So with its help, you can collect and view marks and manually enter grades for offline activities also. So let's try to think, or let's try to consider these things before creating our gradebook. So we have to review our grading system in an OBE classroom, and then we also have to consider the criteria for our grading. So here, as I've shown in a table, so on the left side, it's the graded task, and then on the right side, it's the possible points or the percentage for the corresponding graded task. Okay, so so before we proceed in setting up our gradebook, so before we proceed in setting up our gradebook, let's switch muna our roles from being a teacher and borrow the role of our IT guy as an administrator or admin of the Moodle, or our I mean, what's it called this? I forgot the Numio, the Numio site. Okay, so in Moodle, the aggregation in Moodle, the aggregation determines how grades in a category are combined. So in Numio, the default of the aggregation is natural, but then as an administrator, you can specify other types of aggregation. So the natural here, aggregation here, simply defines the sum of all grade values scaled by weight. So how are we going to set up the aggregation? So I'm going to switch my slides, or I mean my screen, from slides to my Numio classroom. Okay, so also you can follow how I'm going to set up the aggregation. So from the dashboard, okay, so here, oh, wait. So from the dashboard, I already have my screenshots pala. So from the dashboard, click on the site administration, and then from there, you have to click the grades, this one, and then you again, and then click the grade category settings. Then after that, you have to scroll down a little bit, and then if you're going to see the available aggregation types, so by default, only natural was highlighted. So what you're going to do, you're going to select all aggregation types that should be available in your gradebook. So you just hold the control key and then select all the multiple items or the available aggregation. And then after that, just click save. Okay, so I hope I think I'm quite fast. Again, I'll try to repeat. You go to the site administration, and then after clicking the site administration, click on grades. Then after grades, below that, click category settings, and then scroll down a little bit and choose or select all the available aggregation types, and then click on save. Okay. Okay, so let's continue. Okay, so I have here my screenshots of our ReFLEX classroom. So in setting a course, in setting the gradebook, so I choose this course so that because you're in this course, and then you will be familiar with the activities that have been required, or that you are required to submit. Okay, so to set up a grade book for a course, you just click on the grades, and then icon, and then in the upper right corner of your classroom. So in your case, you're going to open your course that you have created today. Yesterday, and then you added some resources yesterday, and then you added some activities this morning and also this afternoon. So you have to open that, and then after, just click on grades or the grades icon. Okay, so I hope you open your classroom already, and then click on the grades, and then to continue. So after clicking the grades, in the grader report menu, just click on setup. Okay, I forgot to put position my clicker. Then, or the click icon, so rather setup, I click setup, and then after clicking the setup, so here, if you're going to click the setup, this will be your screen. So you have here, you will see the weights, the maximum grade, and then the actions. And below the actions, there are edit buttons. So later you will be playing around with these edit buttons. And then, okay, so if you scroll down, okay, you will see there's a save changes. So everything that you're going to change you have to make sure that you have to click Save Changes. Okay, and then there's a Add Grade Item, and then Add Category. Okay, okay. So remember our graded task here. So these are our categories. So if we're going to set up our gradebook, let's try to consider how our gradebook has been distributed, or okay, or our points, or the the percentage of the distribution of our the points of our graded task. Okay, so to continue, okay, so at the upper part of your screen, or your grade book, so as you can see here, the name of the course. So in this example, in my screen, I have here the ReFLEX10. So in your screen, you can also have your course name, and then click on the first setting, or the edit setting that you can see, or the first bar in your gradebook or ribbon. Okay, so that's your first thing to do. So just click edit, and then select the edit settings. Okay, so after clicking that one, so you're going to click the aggregation menu. So if you're going to click that one, if you're going to click the aggregation menu, where is it? Okay, so if you're going to click the aggregation, there's a drop down, and it lets you choose the aggregation strategy that will be used to calculate the participants' overall grade for a grade category. So by default, the default is natural, and then if you set up earlier the grade book in the core, the site administration, so the other aggregations will be displayed. But if not, then only the natural will be seen. Okay. And then let's continue. Okay, so you will see under the grade category, there's a category name and aggregation, and under the category total, there's a grade type, scale, maximum grade, and the minimum grade. Okay. So here, for example, we're going to write or name the category as the ReFLEX10 for the course, since ReFLEX10 is our course name. And then the aggregation, so we're going to choose the weighted mean, and then the value, the grade type, rather. So you have to choose value, and then for the scale, so it's none, and then for the maximum grade, you can put 10 or 100 or 0, and then just click on click Save Changes. Okay, and then there. So after setting the parent category here is the ReFLEX10 or the course name. And then, so after setting there, you can now add categories based on your grading system. So remember earlier, our grade categories is equal to the graded task. So we have the unit outcome 1, unit outcome 2, unit 1 outcome, unit 2 outcome, unit 3 outcome, and then we have the culminating outcome. Okay, so how are we going to add a category. So at the lower part of the gradebook, so just click add. Okay, there. So there's an icon. So just click that one to add a category. Then, so there again, just put or input the category grade. So what is our first category grade name? It's Unit 1 outcome. And then your aggregation, you're going to set up is you have to change from normal to mean grades, and then the value and the score. Then click Save Changes. Okay, there. So there, here is grade category name. So you have there the unit outcome 1, unit outcome, the mean aggregation is mean of grades. The aggregation is mean of grades, and then the category is the value, and so on. Okay. Then just click on Save Changes. So you're going to click the Save, then your category will be added. So here, so as you can see here, you can see a folder. So that's your category for your unit outcome 1, or the unit outcome 1 category. And then can input the weights and then save the changes. So the weights that we have assigned earlier in our grade, task, it's 10%. Okay, so here, so if you're going to add another category for the unit number 2 outcome or unit 2 outcome, just repeat the process earlier. So just add a category and then assign the name. So select the aggregation type and then the value and the minimum and maximum and minimum scores, and then click on Save. Okay, so if we're going to input all our categories, go, here's how it looks like. So we have Unit 1 outcome, Unit 2 outcome, Unit 3 outcome, and then Unit 4. Okay, yeah, Unit 4 outcome, and then the culminating outcome. Okay, so let's try to check. I hope I'm not, again, fast in giving, in showing how the grades was being set up. So let's try to check. Let's try to check our, okay, so let's try to check and examine the gradebook in our ReFLEX and try to transfer or assign the specific activity to the appropriate category. So here, if you're in your classroom, okay, so I will also go to my ReFLEX classroom or to our ReFLEX classroom. So if you click this ReFLEX classroom, you will be on the main page of your classroom. So if you click on the ReFLEX10 and then just scroll a little bit, and then you can see here the gradebook. So let's try to check your gradebook or our gradebook. Our gradebook. Okay. So okay, from here, click this one, grades, and then earlier, click on the setup, and there. So this is our gradebook setup. So if you created or added activities such as assignment with grades, then it will automatically reflect in the gradebook. So if you have how many or many activities, then as long as it's graded, it will automatically reflected here in our gradebook. But then all those activities are not yet organized according to its category. So earlier, I have demonstrated or shown to you how to add a category. So at this moment, we can try to add a category, or maybe earlier, while showing to you how to add, maybe you're also doing or adding the category. So let's try again, repeat adding a category. So for example, just click this add category, click, and then name. So here, based on our grading system, or the table I've shown earlier, the graded task. So you can write the category name. So for example, if you have the Unit 1 outcome, then just type Unit 1 outcome. And then the aggregation, so by default, it's natural. So just click on the mean grades. Mean because we already set up our parent category with a weighted mean of grades. And then here, choose mean of grades. And then under the category total, just value 100, and then click on save. So I'm not going to save this one because I already created a Unit 1 outcome. I was just showing you how to add the category. Okay, so going back there, here's my gradebook. So I have here the Unit 1 outcome, Unit 2, Unit 3, Unit 4, and the culminating outcome. So as you can see here, the grades are weighted like 9 point something. So let's try to check if we set up correctly our main parent category to its proper or correct aggregation. So as you can see, I haven't set up my aggregation, so it's still on its default. So I'm going to change it from natural to weighted mean. Again, click natural and then weighted mean of grades. And then just click on save changes. And if you're going to save changes, then Moodle will automatically recalculating your grades, and then just click on continue. Okay, so here, so we already have our parent category with a simple weighted mean. So now let's try to organize according to the specific, or according to our identified category or the graded task earlier. So from the Unit 1, let's try to have the Unit 1 with weights, assign the weights of the Unit 1. So just click on the number and then just type. So if it's 10%, just type 10 for the Unit 1. And then here, you can also have 10. Then 10 for the Unit 3 and 10 for the Unit 4. So remember, we have Unit 1, 2, 3, and 4 in our ReFLEX. And then, in terms of the culminating outcome, so we have 60% or 60%. and then try to save changes. Okay, again, it's recalculating our gradebook. Okay, so from here, going back in our gradebook, so as you can see here, our day 2 activity, day 3, and so on is under our parent category along with our unit 1 and other categories. So the day 2 activity or assignment is actually under the unit 1 outcome category. So what we're going to do, we're going to organize and transfer it to its appropriate category. So you just have to check or select this one. So day 1, from day 1 to day 3 is submissions from day 1 to day 3 are under unit 1. So just click, select day 2 and day 2 assignments, and then scroll down a little bit, scroll down below, and then here there's a move to selected items, then choose. Okay, so choose what specific category those items belongs to, or you want to move the items. So just click under unit 1 because it belongs to unit 1, and then automatically it will recalculate your gradebook. Okay, so let's try to check there. So those 3 items were now under the unit 1 outcome. Okay, so here, how about day 4 and day 5? So let's try to again move day 4 and day 5. So day 4 and day 5 belongs to unit 1. Unit 2 category. So just select and then move selected items to choose unit 2. And then let's wait. Then continue. Then there. So we have the day 4 and day 5 activity under the unit 2 outcome. And then how about the forum or this one? So it states here that, the forum is a graded forum, although it's a self-introduction, but we assigned points. So that's why it shows here in the grade book. So the self-introduction forum belongs to what category do you think? So I'll just answer. So it also belongs to the unit 1 category because it's usually self-introduction activity usually happens on the first or the early days, or early session of your class. So it's under unit 1, then again check and scroll down, then move to unit 1 and then recalculate, then continue. Okay, there. So you have your unit 1 with these items, graded items. You have your unit 2 and your unit 3. So I think we don't have submissions for unit 3 and unit 4. And then here, okay, so another one, I have here a add grade item. So this add grade item, let's try to check. Okay, so you can have this grade item if you have an activity that was done offline. So if you have a activity without without using the features here in Mole, or I mean in Moodle. So you can use this, or you can add this grade item. Okay, I will not add this at this moment. So I already now created my grade book in our Reflex classroom. So let's try to check. So if our category under Unit 1 is aggregated with the mean of grades. Okay, so that's correct. And then here, let's try to check. Okay, it's actually mean of grades. Then what else? Okay. And okay, so going back. Oops. Okay, so I think that ends my demonstration in building your setting up your gradebook.
Thank you so much, Ma'am Nen, for the detailed presentation on how to set up your grade book. Of course, we will not finish this afternoon session without Ma'am Nen responding to the questions raised earlier. Some questions were raised this morning were already about grade book. So I think it's about time that we ask the question to you. I hope Ma'am Nen is ready. Okay na, Ma'am
Yes.
Nen?
Yes.
Okay. The first question is from Sir Dante Dinawanaw.
Yes.
You know Sir Dante? Oo.
Very much.
Uh, this is the response of Sir Dante from the
Okay.
question of Sir Harland Pasage. So yung question
Okay.
ni Sir Harland is, hello po, does Moodle automatically generate a spreadsheet that records students' scores so we can easily
The
monitor students' progress from time to time? So I think si Sir Dante ang nag-answer.
answer.
Sir Dante said, yes, it has a grade book which does the automatic computation of grades, including exportation facilities. So you could export all the scores and grades to a CSV, Excel spreadsheet, etc. So, would you like to elaborate on the answer of Sir Dante, Ma'am Nenen?
Yes, ma'am. So the grade book that you have set up, you can also download it in your local drive. So that you will be able to navigate, or you can check the grades of the students. So um, uh, so under the grade administration, so so under the grade administration, there's an export menu, and then there there's a spreadsheet, Excel spreadsheet. So you can download your activities or grade books into Excel format, and then you can see all your the grades of the students. Yes.
Okay, thank you, Ma'am Nen. Another question. This is question from Sir Sergio Clarida from Pilgrim Christian College. He is from the School of Business and Accountancy. Is it advisable for him and his colleagues to use this afternoon's discussion, or maybe use the LMS using rubrics and grade books for higher accounting subjects? Or is this applicable to higher some accounting subjects?
The use of LMS is for you to be able to like add your resources, add your grades, I mean your activities, and at the same time it will also help you parang store or store or parang collect all the datas that you have created, and as well as your grade. So I think these tools that we have introduced is applicable also to the higher I
Accounting.
mean,
Mhm.
yes, high
Mhm.
accounting, as long as your activities, your resources, your grading strategies will suit to your parang your content and your like activities like that.
Mhm. A similar question was raised, but this was yesterday. If they can use Moodle for the subjects with laboratory components.
Yes, you can also use Moodle in terms of giving the reading materials for them and then collecting their laboratory outputs. This one. And also there's a new feature in Moodle wherein you can also do some programming languages. You just have to ask your IT guy to have your Moodle have the plugins added in your LMS or in your Moodle.
Okay. So practically all subjects and
Yes.
all courses can make use of Moodle.
Yeah.
Another question, Ma'am, and this was related to your presentation yesterday, but a spillover for today. Aside from nomio.com, what other sites can you suggest to open Moodle? Nomio GUI is different from yours or what you used yesterday and today. That's why it's hard for the participant to follow, especially that we are new, that he is new to the platform.
Okay. So you can also visit moodle.org, and then um, there you can try to search for some similar sites that will handle Moodle with free plan, and then there
Mhm.
you can sign up and use the Moodle,
Mhm.
sign up in the Moodle. So I think there's actually no so much difference between the one I used and the one that you have created in Nomio. So parang
Wala
so
wala kayo pagkakaiba, so they can
yes,
still make use of
make use of
whatever they have used currently. Okay,
yes.
question from Sir Ruel Rementiso. This I think this is for Sir Vincent, but Ma'am Nenan can answer. I just want to ask, what will we do if during the timed quiz there will be slow connectivity? Are we going to allow students to retake the exam?
Actually, it's up to the teacher if they will consider that for their students. So because if the internet connection will get if there will be no internet connections, it's a circumstances that it's not beyond our control. So I guess a teacher will also consider in having the students reattend those quizzes that they have created for their students.
Okay, I think we have, thank you for that, Ma'am Nan. Last item here, it's not a question, but a comment and a response from Ma'am Seni Malabana regarding the question earlier raised to Sir Vincent about the use of rubrics if they need to design or just get sample rubrics from the internet. So si Dr. Malabanan mentioned that there are standard rubrics which the faculty can uh, make use of, but kailangan lang make ng citation, no, when you use it. But faculty members can also design their own rubrics and make sure that it is validated in the department or the college. Okay. For most faculty na bago, no, new in the use of rubrics, they can check on the sample sa internet for their reference. But it's better if they create their own, because that would depend on the outcomes that they have set for their subjects of their material, their course, no? Di pwedeng copy paste lang without determining if they're applicable to your course material. Okay, am I right, Ma'am Nen?
Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm. Okay. There's a pahabol na question from Sir Michael Namok. Our school has already a standard grading system, cumulative grading. Can we still use this grading system in Moodle?
Yes, you can still use that. And then in terms of the aggregation, so you can choose how the aggregation fit in your standard grading system.
Okay. Sige. Thank you, Ma'am Nen. Again, the recurring question is, how can I get copies of the presentation? I would like to reiterate that all presentations will be available via our FB page and YouTube, and also accessible sa ating LMS. All you have to do is make sure that you are registered. For this afternoon's registration, it was flashed in the screen. It will be flashed later by our staff, and it's also found on the top of your the title page na inyong ng video na ito. So please do register for today. So I think that's all for today. We have learning experience. It's medyo technical masyado, but very helpful for our faculty and higher education institutions who really wish to start up the use of Moodle in their school. So at this point in time, we'd like to thank again our resource persons for this afternoon, Sir Vincent Malales and Ma'am Nanan Borinaga, for your presentation. We hope to see our participants Thursday morning for the last topic to be presented by Ma'am Nenen on G Suite for education. So a reminder again, for those who have not registered, just click the link for the registration form. Just make sure you submit your workshop output from the previous webinars, from day one to day until today, in our LMS link. It's flashed now on your Sir Godfrey will flash that in our screen again later. And of course, our next schedule will be on Thursday, July 30. That's the last day of our training. Yay! Last day in the morning, and then in the afternoon, we will have our closing program. So we hope to see all of you there in our Facebook live streaming for the closing program. So I think that's all. In behalf of CHED Region 10, the technical working group on members on flexible learning, the consortium members, thank you to our speakers for their time and their expertise. And again, hashtag we learn as one, hashtag we educate as one. Stay safe, stay healthy, everyone. See you on Thursday. Bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, Ma'am Sen. Thank